Alright, what's going on, Forgotten Nation? I'm your host, FG, and before we get into today's gameplay session, I want to set the tone and tell a little bit of a story of what we're going to be experiencing here today. This takes place around the mid-2000s. It was the holidays, and as we do every year, my family went up to our cousin's place to celebrate Christmas Eve. I was probably 6 or 7 at the time, very small, still very young, and this was something that none of us could have ever grasped would become such a big thing at the time. We were exposed by my cousins to the early primitive internet. A time where computers were still very primal compared to the beasts we run today with RTX and all this ray tracing ability. And with it came many things we would see later on. Social media, content creation, and the focus today, online gaming. Flash games. This was my first exposure to some of the earliest Flash games. Club Penguin, of course, will always be one of my favorites, though one of the other early games was also Line Rider. And this is going to be very important for the gameplay we're going to be showing off today. Line Rider, I would like to consider its own genre. The line riding genre. And this isn't fact, by the way, but I like to consider it that. The idea is that with the tools at your disposal, you draw a line, and when you push play, the line rider will ride across it. So the idea is you can do a lot of things. You can torture the line rider, you can create all sorts of art creations, or just have fun. Anyone can pick it up, anyone can play it, and the best part was it was free because it was a Flash game on the internet. Now, let's jump ahead to the main attraction of today. Today, we're playing one of the first games I ever experienced on the internet. One of my very first Flash games. And of course, it happened around the holidays. Today, we're looking at Snowline. This was a game made by Miniclip during the origins of some of the very earliest Flash games. Primitive today, of course. What we see here is not going to be aged all that well, but it's something I still hold to a nostalgic value as I'm remembered even today. And nostalgia is one of the reasons we're checking out today, but there's another reason we'll get to very soon. But let's not waste any time, let's get straight into it. So as we've seen with Line Rider, we draw a path, and the objective is to get Santa to the goal line, though you can't just simply go to the goal. In order to win each stage, you need to grab all 3 of the presents. So, of course, it's from point A to point B, but there's a puzzle objective. So we need to make sure we get where we're going in the best way possible, and most importantly, to save as much ink as possible. You have a limit to how much you can use on stage, and the more you have left over, the more points you can get. Many early arcade games were always based around trying to go for the high score. Flash games are no different. Although there would be many Flash games that tell a tale of their own, some Flash games were simply just that, arcade games. And it's the same nature here, where the objective is simply to go for the high score, or see it to the finish. So, we're going to take it nice and easy, and just play casually, trying to get to the end of the game. It's nice, it's simple, anyone can pick it up, and the thing with Flash games, as long as you had an internet connection, it was free. And that was one of the biggest appeals of the time for Flash games. Games that anyone can make given the tools given. And some making games for the first time, as a matter of fact. This was a time when this would be one of the first tools that made gaming accessible to all developers. Something that anyone with the knowledge and the ability, I guess is the word, could create something cool. And there was many of different creations we'd see that would later spawn on to be their origin stories of becoming game developers. One of my personal favorites, of course, is the Fancy Pants Adventures, even going on today to have its own Steam games, as well as collabs between EA, so on and so forth. Another popular one, though, is probably one most are familiar with, Super Meat Boy. The original Meat Boy was a Flash game. You could play it on Newgrounds, and it's there. It's still pretty good today, but everyone knows Super Meat Boy. That was the game that would redefine platformers even today. And it all started because of Flash game. That's the impact Flash games had back then. Anyone could create, and you didn't have to be a big corporation or a big name like Nintendo to create games that people could enjoy. As long as you knew what you were doing and you had a creative idea. In many ways, it's not very different today. As of today, there has been many tools, many game engines that have become much more accessible so that anyone can create a game for any device. Whether it's the PC, console, or mobile gaming. We've seen a lot of fresh and original ideas from the late 2000s to the early 2010s. Flash games are part of that too, though it was also the rise of ongoing technology. You know where I'm going with this. The iPhone, the Android, and everything in between. App games, games on phones, saw a big rise in the late... I'm not stuttering here. The late 2000s and the early 2010s. Some of my personal favorites, of course, being Doodle Jump, Angry Birds, Pocket God, and a whole bunch more. But that's not the point. Today we're talking about Flash games. But why is it I'm bringing this up? Well, that's one of the first reasons we're playing this today. The second reason being that it's a holiday game and we're just trying to celebrate Christmas. But no, as of January 2021, native support for Flash will no longer be available, with the final legacy update coming out from Adobe soon. And many of these games, including this one right here, will not be playable through standard means. Only if you have external hardware and software will you be able to play games like these. So essentially we're losing a pretty big piece of history come next year. And that's a bit of a shame, because there's many ideas, many stories to tell, and a whole lot more that we got from Flash games as time went on. Flash has been around for almost 2 decades and counting. So it's crazy to see the legacy end here, but the amount of stuff we got in that time, to say the least, has been plentiful and a whole lot to consume. This is probably not the most memorable game of the bunch, and I doubt very few, if any, may even remember this game. But I remember this game because of that one instance in the mid-2000s where they showed this to me. And yeah, it's crazy to think about. But of course, many other games like Club Penguin, of course, Super Meat Boy, Alien Hominid, The Fancy Pants Adventures. I could probably name a couple more, but I'm not going to go on. It's just, there's been a whole lot that's happened with Flash games over these years. And it's crazy to think about. And in an instant, in a flash, it will just disappear. Thankfully though, many have taken to archiving these games so that many generations later can experience them if they choose to. I give many thanks to those that work to archive these games, so history isn't lost. Whether someone's willing gonna go out and try to play one of these games, unless they need to, we are losing a bit of history, for better or for worst. Alright, that's another level down. No, come on. There's another level down. We're about halfway through the game, so we're gonna keep it up, keep going for the presents, just play it to completion. But man, I can only imagine what I was like as a kid playing this, because at the time, this was unheard of. 3 games on the internet anyone could create. It really was a sight to behold. And I can't count the amount of times in elementary school that during computer lab free time, how many of my friends and former students would play stuff like, I remember Fun Brain was one of them. There was like Math, like Cool Math was one of them. There was even one where it was like a board game setup. They had like a whole bunch of mini games set up. I don't think that's available anymore. It was like Scrap Brain or something. I remember that being one of the first like instances of like multiple games in one place, aside from Newgrounds. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. But it created a community. It brought people together. It inspired a whole lot of new ideas. And Flash wasn't just for gaming. animation especially. I know the Homestar Run series was a big thing that even went on even to this day. Just how crazy of a legacy Flash had for many creators. Careful now. Ah, come on, Santa Claus. We're going nowhere at this rate. Okay, jump down like this. Ride this way. And jump up. Come on! Come on, Santa Claus! Ah! He doesn't know how to land. There we go. Oh! You know what? Go like that. Okay, yeah. Oh, train. Oh, why? Okay, go! Come on, Santa Claus. Yeah! Okay, shoot up. Alright, let's keep this going. Draw this way. That way. Personally, if you asked me, I feel like Flash games was the peak of a lot of originality from many creators. We see a lot of cool stuff in the early 2010s when it came to mobile gaming. But if you ask me today, I feel like a lot of that is gone. Either we run out of ideas, or it's just simply become a ploy for quick advertising money through some quick pay-to-win games, really, is the best way to sum it up. I'm not saying that there's no good games on the App Store or Android, but we've definitely lost something along the way now that we have the same technology on a phone as a major console, let's say along the lines of something like the Nintendo Wii and the Xbox 360. I don't think it's quite there with the PS4 or the Xbox One yet. Streaming maybe, but as far as like performance goes. But we've come a long way. But it just seems like there really hasn't been all that much as of lately. Maybe Genshin Impact, I guess. I guess that counts. But there used to be a time where there was like a lot of ideas and a lot of different games to choose from that were unique, original, and had a lot going for themselves. Flash games, anyone could create, post them, and it was great. You can make some ad money for certain sites, of course. But the point was, if you had an idea, and it was a good idea, you would see the most success on the front pages in the top 10. Nowadays, it's all about how many ads can you play. At least that's my opinion. That's my opinion of what we've become as far as that kind of stuff goes. Again, I could be entirely wrong, but it's just my personal thoughts. Alright, shoot up like that, and go. Come on, Santa Claus! There you go, there you go. Keep going. Going down. Loop around. Blah! And got the present. I'll take it. Alright, we're at the final stage, the summit. This is when we test everything together. Watch out for the volcano, because you can't draw lines on the volcano. Don't go into the tornado, which I can only imagine how many natural disasters are happening in the North Pole at a given time. Don't get ran over by the train. Trains are bad. It's not the Polar Express. Shoot yourself all the way up and go into the tunnel. Alright, let's see if this works. Go, 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 go! Come on. Whoa! Alright, let's try. Let's do that. Santa needs to balance himself a little better. Come on. You got it, you got it, you got it. Yeah, yeah! Yeah, 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 yeah! Woo! I'll take it, baby! Alright, we've completed the path. Our final score is 8,266. Congratulations! You collected all the gifts and scored 8,266 points. At a time when this was first on the internet, if you went to scores, you would see a whole list of top scores in the game. And of course, my score could be on there too. But the sport's no longer there. Miniclip's changed since then, just saying. But yeah, that's gonna do it for Snowline. Again, this is one of the first games I ever played on the internet when Flash was really becoming big. And there'd be many more following that. It's crazy how far we've come. But now let's go back to Line Rider for a moment, because here's what I want to talk a little more about what's become of gaming and what to expect. Line Rider was a Flash game. It started as Flash, and over time it evolved, grew further. It eventually became its own thing. Nowadays, Line Rider isn't a Flash game. It's on an engine that's supportive of many devices, from the computer I'm playing on to my very own smartphone. That's how much has evolved over time. And it gives me hope that one day, many games, such as Flash games, can evolve further and break the mold to become greater. We've seen it from many creators. There's been a whole lot over time that have had many success stories. The names I said in this video, and many more that you'll probably let know in the comments down below. The point is, we've evolved over time, we've grown, and a whole lot has changed. Flash games are no different, but it's just one of those things where it's time to say goodbye and move on to greater. So this video goes out to Flash games. There's many Flash games that were made in over 2 decades and then some. And we've had a lot from the community, from the creators, so on and so forth. So this one goes out to all the creators out there. This one goes out to Adobe and all the fun times, childhood memories, and all the good stuff that came from Flash games as technology grew further. Man, we're really leaving a legacy behind. So let's end this on a better note. Happy holidays, everyone! 2020 has been a pretty bad year, so just please, stay safe out there, don't do anything stupid, and spend some time with your loved ones. There's been enough this year, so let's hope that next year some better things happen. And who knows, maybe it's starting to look better. Only time will tell. But that's gonna do it for this video of Snowline. So if you like this video, be sure to leave a like and comment down below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. But man, the internet. I can only imagine what MySpace was like back then. I wasn't old enough to have an account. But crazy stuff, I tell you.